Hello, welcome to Tuesday's Look North. In tonight's headlines, the family of a man killed in a plane crash demands an apology. Hopes to cure arthritis with experimental research in Newcastle. Back in business again after another layoff, the Wilton plant, which turns wheat into fuel. And Rosa celebrates her 100th birthday in the cafe opened by her parents and run by her children and grandchildren.
We did work hard. Even when we were little, my dad believed, oh, you've got to work. If you want to get on, you've got to work.
In sport, Paolo Di Canio breaks his silence over his sacking from Sunderland. And time to shut up shop. Pardew vows to sort out Newcastle's defensive problems after a first-half horror show on Merseyside.
It's 4 years and 4 months since his death, and they say they're still waiting for someone to say sorry. 61-year-old Arthur Coakley from Sandsend near Whitby was one of 228 people killed when an Air France flight crashed into the Atlantic in 2009. A combination of technical failures on the plane and human error were blamed for the crash. But Arthur's family say their request for an apology has been ignored by Air France. At his inquest today, a coroner raised concerns whether or not pilots were overly dependent on technology to fly planes. Stuart Winkup reports.
Arthur Coakley was described as a brilliant man and devoted father. He was only on the flight because he'd been delayed at work and missed an earlier connection. Equipment failure and human error were blamed for the crash, but 4 years on, Arthur's family say they still haven't had an apology from Air France.
It's very simple. I think everybody deserves an apology from Air France, but they refuse to give it. I've spoken to their lawyer and asked him for one, and he said he ignored it. So that's really all we would like, an apology as a family.
French investigators said the plane crashed because the airspeed sensors became blocked and stopped working. The crew panicked, and when the aircraft stalled, they didn't know what to do. The coroner said this disaster highlights serious public concerns that pilots are becoming overly dependent on technology and not retaining the skills required to properly fly complex commercial aircraft. Now some of the families have started legal action against Air France.
Money never brought anybody back. Air France hasn't apologised, and so I think it is making air safety safer for all. No more innocent lives can be lost, but also pure accountability.
Arthur Coakley's family said 4 years on, and they still can't believe they will never see him again.
We keep expecting him home, don't we, darling?
Yeah, we do, but...
The first of every month is difficult, because we know we relive the exact time when my son Patrick phoned up from Leeds to say which plane was Daddy on. So yes, it's been a very difficult 4 years, 4 months.
Stuart Winkup, BBC Look North, Northallerton.
Now, it's a condition that can turn active, healthy people into cripples and virtual prisoners in their own home, and all within just a few weeks. But scientists in Newcastle are hoping a new research centre could soon end the misery felt by the thousands of rheumatoid arthritis sufferers across the country. Next week, we'll see the launch of an experimental arthritis treatment centre at Newcastle University, which will see if drugs used to treat other illnesses can help combat the condition. Richard Thomas reports.
Brian loves his music and has played the guitar for many years, but 12 months ago, this became impossible.
I started getting pains in my wrist, and the spread from my knuckles week by week, month by month, to my arms, to my shoulders, till it got to a certain stage where I couldn't physically get out of bed. I was in so much pain. I says to my wife, I says, I'm not going to work today.
Within 3 months and with the right medication, Brian was back in work as a lorry driver. One of the tablets he takes, methotrexate, was first used to treat cancer, but scientists found it helped arthritis sufferers too. But without research like this, Brian believes treatments may never be developed.
I went to the RVI and they took loads of samples of me bones. But if I hadn't have given, then how how would the next generation of people that have got any kind of arthritis, how they're going to get better.
And it's here at Newcastle University where the new treatments will be researched. The new centre, which will be launched by Arthritis Research next week, has been given a grant of just over £1 million. It'll now start to see if a particular selected cancer drug could help arthritis sufferers.
In particular, we want to repurpose drugs, so take drugs which are already being tested in one condition and bring them into arthritis. That shortens the development pathway and gets them to the patients quicker. We're looking for biomarkers to understand more about arthritis conditions, who it affects, how badly it affects them, and which drugs to use in which patients. And the third interesting strand is we want patients to understand a bit more about research.
5% in the next year.
Now, today is Older People's Day, a national celebration of the contribution that they make to our society and to the economy. And Darlington's Age UK branch has chosen to launch its Good Friends initiative to help anyone who might feel isolated and lonely. They want to recruit 1,000 Befriender volunteers to make a big difference to older people.
Family history.
It could be that it's a very cold day, it snowed. Is Mabel all right? Is Harry all right? Can I just check, can I clear the path for them? Knock on the door. Are you warm enough? Is there anything I can do for you? Just the little things that will make a difference.
Back in the market square, and it seems Older People's Day can be every day.
We're into line dancing. We're going to be doing a display in a minute. And yes, I think it's a very good thing for older people to have interest. We're all living longer.
I'm supposed to have a reason for getting up in the morning. You know, if you a volunteer in one of the charity shops, that's quite a good thing. And just have an interesting sort of life.
Life doesn't stop, just keep going.
Phil Chapman, BBC Look North, Darlington.
Excellent. Now, almost 90 years after she began working in her parents' Northumberland cafe, a lady got her telegram from the Queen this morning in the same cafe that's still run by her descendants. Rosa Arrighi came to Britain with her Italian parents. They settled in Seaton, Delaval, where they developed their own brand of ice cream. And today, the business, the ice cream and Rosa are still going strong. Jerry Jackson's been to see all of them.
It's one of the best-known family-run firms in this area, but it's not always quite this busy. Today, though, the postman and a lot of friends are waiting for one special person.
Congratulations.
Rosa's father founded what's now called the Crescent Cafe in Seaton, Delaval in 1925. Their coffee, food and, yes, the ice cream became famous, and the rest is a long family history.
You've just had your telegram from the Queen.
Aye.
How do you feel with all these people around you?
I do. Well, I'm ready to cry, but I'm not going to do it. I'll have a drink. I like a drink.
Why not?
But Mum's always been a stalwart of the whole of our lives. And I mean, she did, although my father, she bowed down to my father, I must admit, a true Italian, he actually ruled the roost. But she was a very strong disciplinarian. And no matter how or what we did, the shop had to come first.
We did work hard. Even when we were little, my dad believed, oh, if you want to get on, you've got to work. And that's true.
I'm happy because it's been planned really 6 months ago, if not more. You know, we've been expecting this day since our 90th birthday. And we really wanted to make it a memorable occasion, and I think it's really lived up to that.
4 generations of Rosa's family have run this place since she began, but it seems there's no doubt, even now, who's the matriarch of this dynasty.
I've seen the ice cream equipment change, I've seen the shop change, I've seen all the different bits and pieces, and it's been a real joy coming through it with them. I felt more like the family than an assistant.
Time can't stand still, and the cafe's just undergone a big refurbishment. But all these years on, Rosa's legacy looks to be safe. Jerry Jackson, BBC Look North, Northumberland.
Congratulations, Rosa. That's amazing. You look amazing too. Now, it's sport. We've been waiting a long time to hear from Paolo Di Canio, Dawn, and today
yes,
it's happened?
Not that long, actually. He's not exactly the shy, retiring type, is he? Yes, Paolo Di Canio has issued a statement this afternoon, 9 days after being sacked as Sunderland manager. He thanks the club for giving him an opportunity to manage in the Premier League and says he'll always remember the win over Newcastle in the